Hey, how are you? It's me. I'm back. I know, I know. I've been gone for 3 weeks, and I know y'all were looking for a new episode, but I wasn't here. I'm sorry. Uh, I took a little break, and I don't even think I announced that I was taking a break. I just kind of took one, but I'm back solo this time. But we'll get into that. Uh, if I say one more time, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm not gonna kill myself. Uh, this is what it is to talk to yourself. It's crazy. Um, but no, I took some time off, went down to Bolivar Island to stay in a beach house. It was beautiful. I got to see the waves. I didn't really want to go in the water because I don't trust that Galveston water. That Gulf of Mexico water is just not it. It ain't for me. There were, a little bit of Let's Go Brandon next door. There were some fuck Joe Biden flags driving down the street. So I felt like my safe place was the balcony, the upstairs balcony, the bed, the sofa, all those places. And I had a good time, barbecue, drank, sunsets, all kind of stuff. Oh, sunrises. It's just beautiful. Uh, if you ever get a chance to just go to any coast at this point, because I feel as though any coast will be the same, just any coast, go for it. Take some time for yourself just to decompress and, you know, I don't know, unplug for a little bit. But speaking of unplugging, we're plugging back in because now we're back with a new episode of the podcast. New episode of what? Big Gay Pod with me, Uncle Melvin. Um, so I reached out to some people. They didn't get back to me. So I said, oh, you know what, Melvin? You are enough to entertain yourself for what could be 30 to 40 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't really know how long I'm going to keep talking, but just know I'm here. And I asked you some questions, whether you want to get some advice on something. I'll address that one there, advice. And I don't know. I'll just give you my opinion on shit. And I was able to get a few questions. So what I'll do is I'm going to break them up. I got some photography questions because I did ask on my photography page. If you don't know, I do photography. Um, I never really, what's the word? I never advertise it. I never promote it. But if you know me from there, you know me from here. If you know me from, they go hand in hand. But I answer the photography questions together, and then I'll answer some of the life questions together, and then I got a couple like deep questions. So I feel like let's start off light, fun, or deep. Don't really know how it's gonna go, but we'll just randomly get it. So stay tuned, keep watching and listening, because here come the questions. How do you not let being surrounded by negative people make you become negative too? Um, a lot of times I look at people and I I don't compare my life to them, but I look at what they're doing to themselves to make them feel the way they are. And a lot of times I'd like to look at people who are negative and see what is going on in their life that could be possibly causing this to happen. What's the root to their negativity? Let's go with the workplace. Negative people in the workplace, they're always unhappy, they're always sad, they're miserable. Maybe this ain't the job for them. Maybe it's not, maybe there's some other stuff going on at home and they don't know how to leave it at the door before coming into work. Or maybe that's just their overall personality. They're just negative. Everything is negative. I combat that with a good old, like, not a Christian way, but just the old school way. They're giving negativity. Tell them I ain't got time for that. Let them know that you're a person who doesn't accept that kind of shit. Don't accept that kind of negativity or don't accept that way of thinking. And eventually, they'll either just leave you alone or you'll have to separate yourself from that person. Same with friends. If you have a friend who just is always negative, you'll start to stop hanging out with that person. That person will be like, well, damn, I ain't seen so and so in so long. I wonder what's up with that. If they care. If they're just always negative, eventually you'll start to see it. I've also tried the way of being negative back at them and seeing if they kind of like catch it and be like, damn, you're so negative. And I'll be like, well, I'm just giving you the energy that you're giving me. And then they'd be like, well, really? Am I that bad of a, not that bad of a person, but am I that negative? Yeah, you kind of are. And hopefully it'll help you move on past that. Otherwise, get some new friends. Roll out. Peace out. I mean, it's good to be alone. Look at me right now. I'm alone. Not, you, you, you get it right. Okay, cool. So the next question is, how do you deal with fear? Um, I don't know, man. I cry a lot. I do. Um, but a lot of times I kind of calm myself down. I kind of sit alone, whatever it is, and I try to figure out what that fear is inside of me. Like, what is causing the fear? What am I afraid of? And then kind of like break it down one by one. Like, could I take a small step towards overcoming this fear? Like, I don't know, the fear of going out on your own with your own business. Take a small step. Think of ideas for your business. Think of outcomes. Think of how you can progress in your business. Think of like it pretty much overcome each obstacle of your fear or every barrier of your fear, because your fear is not going to just be like one blank thing. Even if it's a brick wall, take it off brick by brick by brick. Don't just think that you can just pile in and overcome it. Like, oh, okay, I'm fine. Let it go. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't fucking work. It doesn't. No matter how much you try, it doesn't work that way. So for me, how I deal with fear, I take it one thing at a time. One step at a time. There's no need to rush. It's kind of like learning to fly or like falling in love. That's the best way I can put it. I don't know the rest of the song, but you get it. But no, just one thing at a time. And, you know, personally, like my fear was with the podcast. Just putting it out there, putting yourself out there, and like it's almost like posting something and it's like waiting for the comments. Like, I'm not getting any likes. What's going on? Like, no one cares. Well, you kind of, at some point, you have to stop being scared and put yourself out there. There's some phrase or some wise saying that's kind of like, you lose 100% of the battles that you don't fight. Something like that. Think of it like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't put yourself out there, you'll never overcome it or never overcome your fear. Try anal. Wait, that's not the same. Okay. What are you looking forward to in 2023? Nothing. No, I say nothing. Every year I try to like set a goal, and this year's goal has been put on hold because of money. Let's put it that way. It's a good way to sum up your have a job, but money. But like my goal this year was to actually, open up a photography studio. Hasn't happened. I don't even think I had a photo shoot this year. Again, we'll get to photography later, but um, I'm looking forward to trying again. I always tell myself, try again, fail better. It's honestly the perfect way to think of things. Like, no matter how many times I fall, I'll get up again. I'll keep going. So for next year, we're gonna put that studio back on on the menu. This year, I think it was to get the podcast on video. So last year was the podcast. This year was to do video with the podcast. And 51 episodes later, here I am. So next year, let's try to maybe monetize the podcast and just a better life. I'm trying to get my kids into school. So let's aim on that. That's what I'm looking forward to. Moving forward. One thing. One. Okay. Another deep one. Man, this is going fucking fast as hell, ain't it? Another deep one is, what is generational trauma? And I felt like I had a summary of what I thought that was, and I looked it up to make sure I was thinking correctly. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look it up one more time to make sure I'm giving the right definition. Um, and the definition will be, let's see, because I can pause this part out here. Okay, so the definition for generational trauma is used to refer to the generally subconscious transmission of transmatic traumatic experience to subsequent generations and to society. So people in the next generation find themselves showing the symptoms of trauma without even having experienced the trauma themselves. Traumatic experience can affect single individual or it can affect many people of a group. The term collective trauma is used in the case where trauma affects more people within a group. Examples of individual trauma can be violence within a family, life-threatening illnesses, accidents, and abuse in home. Um, I used to talk to a lot of friends about stuff like if you're in a household where your dad beats your mom and you become accustomed to that sort of life, not where you like um are sad for your mom. You're just kind of like along with your dad, like, yeah, bitch, if he's teaching you the way of, put a woman in her place, this, that, and the other, and then have a daughter and he's raising her to be, you gotta submit to your husband, this, that, and the other. I feel as though things like that cause you to, in the next generation, repeat it. You may think it's okay to be your woman. You may think it's okay to let a man run over you, in that sense of a generic relationship or generic situation. There's also ones of, I think of, racism is something I feel as though can be handed down because if you teach your kids and uh, there's the way of, a black guy breaks into the house. Now grandma don't like black people. So grandma instills in her kids that black men will rob you, black men will break into your house. That's a trauma that she had that she keeps passing it down. And that way of thinking continues to go down and down and down and down. And then you get whole generations of, I'm not going to say idiots, but closed-minded thinkers, mouth breathers, that kind of situation. I'm trying to be really nice. It's hard sometimes to be nice, but that's I think something that a lot of times we need to break. As a black gay man, there are things I saw as a kid that I wouldn't want my kids to not experience, but like use as a means to not be a certain way. I was an outside kid. I was always running around the neighborhood. I trusted a lot of people. I see now that the world's a little different, but I don't give them that lifestyle of, you're always going to struggle. You're going to be oppressed. You know, I don't know. The man across the street's going to deal you. Like I don't teach them that thing, but that's something I've had to deal with. Um, the only trauma I can think of that, like me personally, I've gone through is like Hurricane Katrina. And a lot of times I feel like when a storm's coming, I'm kind of leery. But the fact that like I moved away from that area, I don't have that thought in my head anymore. And my kids don't seem to have any issues as far as dealing with storms or things like that. Um, their mom passed away of cancer, which would be my wife at the time. They were too young to realize it, but I didn't instill in them that like, I don't know, when you start to love somebody, they're going to get cancer and die. Again, that could be so many different things, but You see where I'm coming from. Um, at this point, I'm kind of rambling on it, but um, generational trauma can be a bad thing. I just feel as though we're getting to a point now where we need to sort of rewrite the trauma of our past and not relive it, not repeat it, but to learn from it. Because that's where we're at right now. We need to learn from things that have happened in the past. Because trust me, we are not going to get good way at all, at all. Dear God, no. I was going to mention something about slavery, I think, but um, I guess it's kind of because that's one where I feel like white people are having a hard time to say, I'm not my ancestors, you know? So, like, even though they felt this way about Black people in dealing with slaves, I don't feel that way. And it's great. But, like, I think maybe the trauma, maybe passed down anyway, that you feel kind of superior. I'm really going on a tangent here. I'm way in left field. See, this is when somebody else would need to be here to like bring me back in, but we're gonna keep going with it. But you get it. Like it's generational oppression, you know. And it's time I think we get out of that. We let that go. I'm done with that shit. This is why I am usually. I think Jesus made wine, so he passed that down to me, and I appreciate that. Mm-mm. You didn't hear that. You're good. Okay, let's keep going. So I have a lot of questions that are concerning photography. I got one more question I kind of want to touch. I know I'm that guy. Someone did ask, why do you think, why are you in the position to give advice? What are your credentials? And they did say respectfully, which afterwards they did, but I get it. Somebody can't just give out advice because who are you to give out advice? Like, I don't know who died and put you in charge. Um, what I can say is I am 43. I'm a Black guy, Black male. I'm gay. I have been married to a woman. I have two adult kids. Um, I've survived Katrina. What you want to say? I was a kid during the Gulf War. Uh, was probably one of the last people who went to Catholic schools that got actual like physical punishment, things like that. Hmm. I've worked many jobs, done a lot of things, been in a lot of relationships, good ones, bad ones, mostly bad. And I don't know. I just feel like a lot of times as a older gay male, look at me. Um, I like to pass on the wisdom that I know, and it may not be wisdom. I just like to pass on my experiences to maybe help somebody else navigate because I was told from others, this is how things are, keep this in mind, yada, 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 live your life. But they did come in handy. I don't know why this wine is making me burp. But they did come in handy. And so I was able to navigate my life in a way that just made it a little easier, just a little bit easier. So am I qualified to give you advice on the stock market? No. Don't even know shit about that. I don't know what the Dow Jones, none of that stuff. No. But, if you need I don't know, somebody to tell you how to give a BJ without choking, I'm your guy. No, seriously. No, so many times I've talked to my friends and they've dealt with situations and I've given them advice and then they didn't do it. But then in the end, they're like, I should have did what you said because X, Y, and Z. So, I may not be qualified to have my own TV show, but a little small podcast with a very small following that's, on the internet, I think I'm good enough, respectfully.
Fantastic.
So I had a couple photography questions, and um, if you don't know, my photography is usually of men. I have done females. I've done I won't call them boring. I will say I have done your typical maternity, engagement, graduation, those kind of things. But I primarily like to do things that are just more of a artistic nature. Um, and I'll put some examples up as I'm talking about this. But um, a couple questions I had about photography were um, how I started as a photographer, what challenges and opportunities or obstacles I've faced. Um, I actually started back when I was in, I don't know, high school, got a camera from my godmother and took pictures and just kind of captured moments, just nothing special, just random around the house. As I got older, I had kids, which then, of course, any parent wants to take as many pictures as you can of your kids. Click, 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 click. Um, and in high school, I used to do art. I was an artist, drawing things like that, painting, and photography was like a way to channel everything I need to create on a painting or a drawing, but like in like still life, like take a picture, create, manipulate it how you want, and then there's your picture. It's a different medium. And of course, now that I am a gay homosexual, I enjoy, I don't know, I enjoy the confidence photography brings to people who may not think they're attractive or may not think they are, you know, whatever. And that's what I like about it. I like to create. I like to create. And I love the reaction of the person when they see the picture because they don't see what I see. And when I capture it, they're like, oh my God, I'm great. Put some more of those pictures up. But yeah, that's part of it. Challenges I've faced with it, honestly, I think are self-inflicted uh challenges, which is thinking everybody's your competitor. That's a big thing that most photographers are or have issues with. They think every photographer is a competitor, or they think that we're competition, and we don't help each other. A lot of times we don't. I've had ones I've collaborated with, and they just felt like I was trying to take from them, or I felt like they were, trying to take from me. And I get it. I'm not going to show you each and everything I do. I'll just give you the base, the foundation of what I do. And then from there, it's yours to go further, and make it yours. Um, the obstacle too I've had is charging people. I don't know. In my head, it's kind of like I didn't understand how people would want to pay to be naked. I get it. I can get naked and take my own selfies. But wouldn't you want it to look a little better? You know, just let the sunlight hit you from the right angle. You can't do it with your phone. You get it. You understand? Okay. Um, but yeah, that's some of the obstacles I've faced. Haven't had anything kind of like a model say that I was inappropriate. Nothing like that. I'm a very comfortable guy. Um, my job isn't to make you do something you don't want to do. My job is to make you do something you want to do and enjoy doing. And in the end, we both enjoy it. That's where I can put it. Which leads me to another question I have. Somebody asked, lewd nude photography do's and don'ts. That's easy. Don't touch the model. Don't make odd noises at the model. Don't make the model uncomfortable or put them in a situation where they feel uncomfortable. Um, and go at their pace. Do at their pace. Um, you can kind of read a person based on their body language or how they're responding to you. Go from there. You know, I I did have one time, which uh, it was, how when you're talking, you're like, okay, do this like this, da 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 da. And then there's times where you're like calm and you're relaxing, you're in the zone, and then you may say, okay, move like this, and you like realize, wait, I'm too calm, I'm too quiet. This just gonna come off as creepy. And one time I felt myself saying it. I was like, okay, like right there, do that. Okay, you're good. But I was doing it in a way where I was trying not to like yell, and the music that was playing was very like in the mood for them. So I just didn't want to fuck the vibe. And at the same time, I'm just kind of like, wait, am I getting to the point of fucking the vibe? Because I'm starting to, my voice is getting real like this. And I'm like, stop right there. You're good. you know? But I know I don't manipulate the model. I tell them to move in the position. I'm not going to move your dick. I'm sorry. I'm not going to move your balls. That's not on, that's yours. I got my own. Um, and I keep my clothes on. Sorry. If you take yours off, I'll keep mine on. If any model ever asks me to get naked too, that just means that we're not compatible. We're not in the same situation. You get it? Okay. Just saying. Um, do I have any upcoming projects? I don't. Yep, I don't. I have a lot of underwear. I have a lot of costumes things that I purchased. I have lighting. Hello. Come on, atmosphere. Do you, boo? But I probably have a couple projects I can work on. Offhand, nothing comes to mind. Maybe. Who knows? Um, what inspires your photography? You know what? I'm gonna do this. If you're listening to the podcast, I'll just describe it to you. But if you're not, I'm just do this. You see that too? Okay. Um, what usually inspires me, honestly, I feed off the energy of the person. I did a photo shoot with a guy who's on the podcast a while back, Onyx, and it was like black boy magic. And when I say black boy magic, it was two black guys, me, him, and we were just creating. And it was like you can feel us vibing in the photo shoot. So whatever I needed, he did it. Whatever he needed me to have him do, I was able to receive it. And it was great. We could have shot for hours. We actually did shoot for hours. I think we did like 2, 3, 400 pictures, but it was just I am inspired when a person is comfortable in themselves, confident in themselves, and um, allows me to show them their greatness. Yeah, like that. Something like that. All right, here's some random questions. Why are beignets so bomb? If you've never had a beignet, you are missing out. I'm gonna describe it for you the best way I can. Hold on, let me get in the mood. Imagine, if you will, a delicious pastry, fried dough mixed together in the shape of a pillow, puffy, crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. Then you take it and you cover it in powdered sugar. You eat it while it's hot so that when you bite into it, the saliva takes the powdered sugar, it creates a glaze that mixes with the subtle hint of the grease that's left in the puff pastry, not puff pastry, the beignet pillow. And you just bite into it, pulls off. It's chewy, flaky, delicious. That's a beignet. That's why it's bomb. So good. Just, it's like a New Orleans version of a sopapilla, but like just better. Mm, delicious. It's like if a waffle just became just a pit of dough dipped in grease and fried, and oh, it's delicious. So why are they bomb? Because they just fucking are. Okay. The next question is, Why does this pussy pop severely? That's the easy answer. Because I'm a homosexual.
Damn, homosexual?
A homosexual. A homosexual.
Damn, homosexual?
Okay, so I have another question. It's one of the serious ones. I should probably put this in the beginning, but depends on where it shows up. Just fucking listen. Is it often that we know our sexuality at a very young age, like even as young as 6 or 7? Okay, that's a simple question. To answer that, drink a little more wine. Um, I can say that I feel as though at a young age I knew that I was gay, or at least I had interest in boys, guys, men, males, however you want to describe it. Penis. That's a good one. No, but I think it's one of those things where you just kind of like what you like, and no matter what age you're at, you just have a connection with it. It's kind of like I used to say that I used to hang out with the girls, but that was because there's mostly girls around, and then the guys did stuff that I didn't want to do. I don't want to sit around and shoot the shit talking about bitches. I want to go to the mall. I want to watch TV. I want to eat, you know, stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't think that made me like guys because it's not like they were walking around saying, "Ooh, girl, look at his bulge. Ooh, girl, look at his ass." I mean, they weren't saying those type of things, but I started to like what I like. I mean, that's the easiest way to put it. And I've seen kids who are very in the way of the gay at an early age, and you just kind of know. I kind of knew. Um, I'm not sure if you know. I can scientifically tell you that yes, but from my experience, yes, you can like them at a young age and grow older, and depends on how your life journey goes. You may decide how you want to act or react or engage in that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, that's really uh, a good way to put it because being gay isn't a choice. No one chooses to be ostracized or oppressed, yada 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 yada. But yeah, it's something that you can, as a kid, you know, and now as an adult, we know. Okay. Um, Sadly, I ain't got no more questions, so I got to find a way to wrap this up to a quick little episode. But um, well, that's all I have. I really hope that this was entertaining. I know it's not the normal one. I'm not bantering with somebody, but I try to give you whatever advice I can give to just, I don't know. I'm just a barrel of whatever. I'm just trying to give it out there. I felt like there was another question, but I may have missed it, and I'm sorry. I really am. You know, just one guy. But I will tell you where to find me. You can find me on bump, 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 bump. I don't really give a shit. I'm not telling you where to find me. You know where to find me. Why do we have to go through this every week? It's showing up at the bottom of the screen, Girl, like I'm okay. Too much is going on. Too much. I feel like I've had more than one bottle of wine. Yeah, that's almost empty. I don't have much else to say. I am putting together an episode to talk about Beyonce not giving us visuals. So maybe I'll talk about it right here. Beyonce. Hey girl, how you doing? Kinda want those visuals. Just, you know, whenever you're ready. But I kinda need them now. I think that's what my life is lacking right now is your visuals. It could be a movie, it could be a bunch of little videos. I just need something to go with the music that you gave me so I can see where you were going with this. Okay? All right, girl. I'll talk to you later. And with that being said, you can reach me on Instagram at Big Gay Pod. You can also reach me on Twitter at The Big Gay Pod. I'm on TikTok as Big Gay Pod. And you can email me, biggaypod@gmail.com. For my photography, I'll put a little tidbit up too, but it's MMJR Photo X for the Not Safe for Work one. And then the other one would be MMJR Photo Video for the Safe for Work stuff. You know, go where you want, but you know where you should go. And I have a website. It's real simple. It's www.myname.com. Right there. If you're on the podcast listening, it'll be in the description. You'll find it. That's where I'm at. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hopefully next week is better. I'm really sorry if this was bad. I'm just trying to motivate myself to do this. That's the best way to describe it. That's seriously it. I've been watching too much Law and Order. I've been watching a lot of TV, and I just sometimes just need to talk to you. You, right there, everybody. Okay? So, I'm Uncle Mel, and this has been another episode of The Big Gay Pod. Bye. Bye. I'm going. Goodbye.